shoes on my feet, stomping out the negativity. Everybody not a friend of me. Spread the love, still I move deliberately. Bunny face on, but the smile be heavenly. Brooklyn girls, so they love the energy, love sincerity. So I take the liberty to take them on a journey lyrically through hallways and alleys, dark days.
Oh, I love the fans.
Hey, good morning or good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are. Hey, my love, how are you, Melissa?
Good morning. I'm so happy because it's a beautiful day here in Puerto Rico, and I like the blend that you're here with me, looking amazing in that tank top.
Well, you know, we're matching today, and we notice how beautiful and how different when video looks or audio looks when you have skin showing. So why not show skin in the beginning of Women's Month? Yay! I think that deserves another applause. Women's Month.
Next week we'll be showing up in pasties.
Yes, honey. But I'm happy to be back with you once again this week on this week's episode of The Next Chapter. You know, I'm really enjoying every week doing the show with you. I think it's been not only healing for those that watch us, but healing for each other. And I'm encouraged that we've been able to meet and build this bond, you know, and discover all these things about each other in the next chapter of our lives. So I'm always excited to come back and have a great new discussion with you.
Now I'm going to be in New York in June, so I think that we should have like a next chapter meetup.
You ain't said nothing but a word, Mama. You ain't said nothing but a word, and that's a weird tie-in today to today's topic, which is faith versus spirituality. You know, and I say that's an interesting segue into faith versus spirituality is because did we meet based off of faith, or did we meet based off of the signs and the cultures and traditions that many of us are taught in religion? So recently I've been watching, and I hate to give plugs to things, but hey, why not? You know, recently I've been watching Vikings, right?
Ooh.
And I'm a really big history buff. You know, I love, you know, learning about how things formed, how things got created, you know, and because I really feel like there's bits of truth and false and everything that we're learning, right? But the one thing about the Vikings is that it's showing us, or that it's showing me how, you know, it's making me question the originator of religion, you know. And it seems that everything is really based on spirituality, and then the spirituality creates the faith, because in order for us to believe in whatever it is we believe, we have to have faith. And I'm wondering that I'm saddened that the faith I'm starting to question is making me question my spirituality, or the religions that have confused us that's now making me question myself.
Wow. That's really interesting. And this is coming from watching Vikings. Okay. But I think this is a journey that a lot of us go through at different points of our life. I remember trying to find my way through when I was in high school, where I would attend church, and then I invited Jehovah's Witnesses come into our house and talk about their religion. And then, you know, just having some experiences with other options. I think it's something that each one of us go through at a different part in our life. And it sounds like in this next chapter, you're kind of looking reflective and then working forward, it sounds like now.
But how do we actually move forward if our end result is also what we're living for? You know, like the Vikings believed in, you know, paganism, you know, and it's funny because, you know, the Romans, you know, in their discovery or existence of the part of the world before the Europeans came, they also were pagans, But then I'm thinking about, okay, well, let's say Adam and Eve, Adam and Eve, the first of the first, supposedly was before any of these. So what did they practice? They couldn't have been Christians if Christians are followers of Christ. They couldn't have been Jews. What were they spiritually believe? What was their foundation? Because we do know, we have heard in scriptures where where Cain and Abel, were able to speak or have relationships with God, or even Adam and Eve. So in those conversations, what were they claiming to be a part of? You know what I mean? Also, I'm wondering, like, after Adam and Eve and we came into sin, and now we're children of that, and then we have the story of Christ, and the Christ coming to kind of balance out or even out the atonement of sins that Adam and Eve set upon us, so that we can now gain everlasting life. If some of us are taught that we can have the opportunity to live in paradise here on earth, but then some of us are taught, like the Vikings in paganism, where you can have an existence living in paradise in heaven, which is also very much like Islam. They live for paradise in heaven. Then we have Catholicism or Christianity that believes in, heaven again above us. But then you have folks like the Jehovah's Witnesses who believes in paradise here on earth. So if we're all living for the afterlife,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? How do we know that what we're doing in the present life is preparing us for the afterlife? Because at the end of the day, we don't really have any real confirmation of what the afterlife looks like. You know what I'm saying? Even though I have friends that have said that they've been here before, and they have clear recollection of past lives. I haven't had anyone talk about they've been reincarnated before, but I definitely have had friends of mine who have said that they have been here before and can tell you accounts of their previous lives. It's not many people.
So if we're all living this life for our future life, wouldn't it make sense to really focus in on the now?
But what if the now is wrong?
What is the now? What is now?
Yeah.
Because I don't really subscribe to any religion. Like,
okay.
I've had almost like a lot of people do go through this, like this religion from like trauma from religion. I've seen people be denied of who they really are. There's also the oppression of women with a lot of the religions. So it's just been, I haven't had a great experience with any particular religion, but when I really focus in on who I am, what I believe in the now, having faith that things will shake out the way they need to be. And in the end, we really don't have any control over anything, right? Yeah. And so it's just kind of like my faith of like, be the best that I can be, try to make a bigger impact than the way I found the world, make a good impact before I leave. And, I do believe in the afterlife and spirits and stuff like that, of being able to connect to people maybe who have passed over, and having that feeling of like, not really having that understanding until somebody really close to you passes, right? Whether it's a parent or a child like that, then you realize like, oh my goodness, like this veil between this side and the other side is very thin. And, having those experiences and, it don't feel like it's like related to any religion in particular. It's just like the current experience that I've had. And just knowing like, yeah, you and I were supposed to meet and connect on a certain reason. Like that's it's interesting how the dots align when we kind of look back at that, you know, at your life. And who knows what happens after we pass. But I do feel like there is probably something on the other side after we pass. I don't know if it has any connection to a religion or anything like that, but that's really where I've landed in this chapter of my life, is just try to be the best person that I can be and honor who I am and, you know, keep moving forward.
On that note, let's take a break and acknowledge some of our underwriters. Ooh, that was deep, Melissa.
Almost Sade Skincare takes pride in using natural, nurturing skincare products to make New Yorkers glow and love their skin. For the past 30 years, we have tailor-made skincare regimens for people and their unique skin type. Now everyone can enjoy this service for free. All skin types, all ages. Your skin, your match. Simply go to SadeSkincare.com and sign up now for your free consultation.
Everything we do is about community empowerment, building, learning, growing, and becoming self-sufficient. Tech believes that financial freedom and education are the civil rights movement of our time.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes, we're getting better and better each week. I'm loving it. Thank you so much to all of those that supported us. We truly, truly appreciate you guys all the way.
So, Kitty, where are you going with your spirituality journey at this point in time?
Well, that's how in tune we are, because I was just getting ready to say that as a minister, I think that's where my challengers are starting to come in, because, you know, my main message is supposed to be of not just the blessings that come with service, but also, you know, the blessings that come from that service in the after, you know. So right now, because of how much death is around me, you know, in this next chapter of my life, I'm constantly thinking about death. And I wish I wasn't, you know, I wish I was just in the now, you know, but in that now, I'm thinking about, you know, what happens after. Is there an after? You know, am I, you know, do I have the possibility of the return? Because I actually really enjoy living. I think it's almost like a catch-22, like a cruel joke, you know, because, you know, death is guaranteed. We know that, you know,
Yes.
but to know that we have this gift of life, that even with all the bad shit that happens, it's real. I know for me, it's been good, you know, and I'm excited about the next chapter of my life, because the next chapter of my life includes my children as adults, my children as parents, my children as partners, you know, my children in their professional careers, you know, what I'm getting ready to do, you and I traveling the world together, my future with Derek, you know, everything is beautiful in my life now that's making me excited about the future. So it's daunting for me right now. And I think that's why I wanted to have this conversation, because I think that because you're a minister, or because you're someone who has faith, and your faith is based off of you being a spiritual person or a spiritual being living this human existence, you know, doesn't mean that you cannot have question. And that was also something that was in the Vikings, because they kidnapped a monk, you know, and a Christian monk. And while he was living with them in the 4 or 5 years that he was with them, he grew to love them, and he grew to love their gods. So that when he came back to being a Catholic or a Christian, or believing in the Lord, or believing in God, he began to question, because he had now actually had belief in the gods that the Bible does also teach us about. You know what I'm saying? So the existence of gods is not a false thing. The existence of a true God, you know, is not a false thing. But then you have people like yourself that's like, I don't know if I want to be connected to any of that. Because if even being connected to gods or a god, we still come back to the problem with evolution or scientists that says that it's energy. Because even in these religions, they're still talking about God being this energy force, this energy that just burst. So did we all just burst into existence? Did we just all, come out from the ground and we were, 5 feet when birth requires 9 months? Like, I'm not really understanding. So I think, like I said, that was really why I wanted to share this, because I don't think that me having the questions are wrong. But I think that when people think that you're a minister, when they know that you're a minister, all I do is have a little bit more understanding of scripture. But I'm still a human.
And I think that questioning is an important part of anything, right? When we ask questions, it makes us think a little deeper into what we're questioning. And when we feel like we can't question, that's when things start to have problems. Like, we need to be able to express our questions and not be judged for them, but be able to have these conversations.
And it's funny because, again, going back to the Vikings, the king was jealous of the Christian monk because he questioned. He didn't just go with the flow. And I think that that's one of the beauties of having a relationship with the creator, is that you're not prone to this one way of thinking, because you evolve, and as you evolve, different messages at different times come to us. And because we've been bowed down by Satan wanting to supposedly confuse us, or man wanting to confuse us, conquering the world and wanting to use their beliefs to confuse or put upon men to control their actions and thoughts, like this COVID thing, you know what I'm saying? Everyone is so suspicious because the history of man has been suspicious. Mankind has not been the nicest to each other.
No, not at all. And especially if you were not somebody who's a male and white, right? Like that. And I feel like a lot of religions have perpetuated that is the Almighty. That is, number one. I mean, Jesus Christ came from the Middle East, yet he is the whitest guy that you will find in a church.
Blue eyes, baby.
Yeah. So I think like history continues to show us like, we need to question things, because we can't just say like, oh, well, that's what somebody said, so that's got to be true. To this day, we should be open to question things without feeling like we're going to get persecuted for it.
So another part of this freaking premenopausal state, I'm always emotional, even about religion, because it means so much to me. You know what I'm saying? That's my platform, and I want to make sure that I'm sharing the right information. And right now, as a minister, I'm not, because a part of my messaging is supposed to be preparing those for the after. And I'm really torn about what the after looks like, and I don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to be present in the now. But I think, being present in the now still does require questions. And I think that having questions doesn't mean that you don't have faith.
Exactly.
Do you think that people are using faith or spirituality as a way of not being connected to religion anymore?
Maybe they're just feeling like there's not the right option out there for them. Right. And because we have so much more information out there about how things have come, we're hesitant to really subject ourselves to anything. I mean, I always say, like, I'm the kind of person that will be easily taken into a cult, because we want that connection, right? We all want to believe in something together. And what is the joke? Like, what's the difference between a cult and religion? About 2,000 years, right?
Sad but true, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
But it comes down to wanting to feel connected
Yes.
to each other here in the now, and to
Yeah.
have some security in what happens when we're not around anymore. Like, it's the uncertainty that we're nervous about. I mean, that's where fear comes from, is that uncertainty. So I think like we're all trying to find our way to, feel grounded here and know that we're going to be okay going forward, and the people that passed before us are okay.
What do you think about death?
Oh, what do I think about death? Good question. So um, I was afforded the opportunity to be with my father as he passed over. And we had an interesting relationship where, I was daddy's girl until my parents divorced, and then we kind of lost touch for a little bit. And then once I was in my 20s, we rekindled that father-daughter relationship. Was extremely important to me. And he passed about 7 years ago, and I was there to be with him for those last days. And just being on that journey, I feel like was an honor, because we got to have a special time together. And then to be there as his spirit left the body, I do feel like that energy doesn't go away. Like, I still feel like we still connect. I feel like we connect in my dreams sometimes, and we have conversations, and his personality is still the same, but he chooses to appear as a younger version of himself, which is interesting too. So, I believe that there is that energy that's still out there. And, and I believe that he's still part of me. And I always say that I've become so successful because he wasn't able to help me in this earth, but he's been able to help me from the other side. And so I thank him all the time. So death is not the end in my understanding. It's like, it's just a different form. And he was Catholic. He was an altar boy for most of his childhood and didn't go into church, but then made sure he had that rosary right before he passed. He was like ordering up his last rites.
It's so crazy because my business is called Kitty Rose, and my daughter is named Rose, and my business is named after my great aunt, whose name was Rosalie.
And my middle name is Rose.
Is it really?
Yes.
Another connection. But I didn't want to name my daughter Rosa, so I named her Rose from my aunt, my great aunt named Rosalie. And I always, well, not always, wonder. Lately, I've been thinking about her, and I believe that we put power into everything that we believe in. And I don't have the power to feel her. I say all the times that people's spirit lives on, but I don't feel anything. I feel memories. I feel how her love made me feel, and what I was encouraged by her. So that's what I have, and that's what I cling to in my memories. But I don't feel her spirit. I don't feel like I can talk to her. I don't feel like she's lived on. I did at one point think that my husband's grandmother spirit was living amongst us in this apartment, because she, made her transition. This was her home before making that transition. Sometimes I think we see shadows, but I don't know if we're feeding or putting into that, or actually if that's a reality that's happening. But I wish that I knew for certain that I felt something higher from that realm. And I feel like because I don't, is another reason why I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
That we have that ability.
And then there might be a reason, like, why she doesn't feel that you might need her right now.
I do, though. I do.
Well, I'll talk to my father and tell him Just send her your way.
Get to it. Get to it, I say. Oh my goodness. So what is our roundup? Like, I feel like this was such a heavy conversation. I don't even know if this is just one conversation, but from today's conversation, do we have a roundup in regards to faith, religion, spirituality? Is there a difference between faith versus spirituality? What are we feeling?
I think what my thought on all this is that you and I come from different areas of virtual like spirituality versus religion, and
Yes.
yet we are still able to support each other and hold space for each other with whatever we believe. And we can still love each other. And I think like that's what the world needs right now is like no matter what we believe is going on after we die, we are able to support each other here in this life.
Oh my goodness. Woo! wait. We gotta get on that one right there. What? It's moving too slow right now. All right. I got to get better with the sound effects. Now that we're in StreamYard, I got to learn how to have all these windows open. But I'm enjoying StreamYard. What about you?
I love it. I do. I really love it.
I think it's
Thank
cute.
you, StreamYard.
I think it's making us a little fancier. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Good looking StreamYard. Our goal, that wink, wink, is that they will become one of our underwriters since we are now using their platform to broadcast our show, The Next Chapter. So yeah, once again, everyone, I think Melissa did the roundup perfectly and beautifully said. At the end of the day, the one thing I also learned about being a Christian was that Christ, when he was here, his disciples asked him, how will we know your people? How will we know, what your true people looks like? Because there will be so many religions. There will be so many people professing in your name. How will we know? And Jesus's answer, do you know what it was, my sister?
There'll be white guys with blue eyes.
Yeah. Don't be a heathen. No. Jesus told them by the love that they show you. That's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you and I, Black woman, white woman, entering 40, leaving 40, from Rhode Island, from Brooklyn, lives in New York, ran away to Puerto Rico, can still unite, meet based off of faith. Because you moving to fucking Puerto Rico was faith. Me coming to Puerto Rico was faith. You know what I'm saying? Us taking a chance that once we interviewed each other and met online, we could have left it at that. We didn't have to meet in person. Who knew what that was going to be like? And then not only meeting in person, but then end up doing business with each other because we both had a goal and agenda that fit what we both wanted to do. And we didn't see our differences making that impossible for us to do. We saw the similarities and we build from there, and we continue to build from there. And I believe that's based off of us being spiritually rounded women, goddesses, and in our journey of the next chapter, we're figuring out how to use these tools, use this love to continue to spread love and share that with others. That's why I'm so excited about our first healing retreat that's coming up in May, because I really know that, getting that direct contact with us.
Oh yeah. People are gonna fall in love with us.
You know what I'm saying? But in order for people to, jump on board and know about us and know what we're doing, we need all of you to. Where is that? Oh, there it is. But I didn't want it to be at the bottom like that. I wanted it to be, so I'm gonna have to fix that right quick. Let's do that real now. We wanted to do it like that.
Like, share, follow, and don't forget to subscribe.
And don't forget to. that wasn't supposed to come under there, but you know what, StreamYard? Hey, I must have did that playing with the graphics. But yes, don't forget to subscribe to both of our channels. Melissa and myself, we have our own individual channels. You can also go to our Facebook group page and sign up there and join our group page so that you can get all the highlights to the different activities that we're going to be doing at these retreats, as well as past shows that you haven't seen if you are just meeting us for the first time. So we are once again, excuse me, we are once again not that part. So we are, wait, I'm going to do it. So we are once again the next chapter. And we appreciate you guys so much. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and follow. Yes, everyone. And until next time, we are your hosts. Hold on, let me take this off. Forget it. We almost had a perfect show. Wait, I'll be damned. No, I'll be damned. And until next time, I'm one of your hosts, Minister Cat, along with
Melissa D.
And we are the next chapter where we discuss Shades of Grey.
Your program to survive. Legendary ciphers get the MCs in the jobs. The city never sleeps. Slept from 1 to 5 when COVID hit the block and we had to stay inside. Tough love is all I know, so be gentle with my soul. Learn to navigate winters with no coat. If you never been cold, you never been broke. Hustle 24/7 just to stay afloat. So New York, like dollar pizza in the cold. Shit, that real life break from the heart of the city is as hard as it gets.